guys ever have debates about which T-Zone started first?
It's crazy you said that, right?
Well,
I was with one of the big homegirls the other day, man, and she was like, boom, bam, boom, and I ran some shit down her.
I think we started first.
What year you think y'all started over here off of 157?
I mean, it always been in the zone since it was started, like, shit, probably in the 60s, like, it was the zone.
Before
like
Crippin'.
Before Crippin' was the zone, and then it started as far as, like, with all the factories and all that. It was always Twilight Zone, from my understanding. Then when the factories, all the factory stuff, it turned into zone rap because they used to hit the factories or whatever and do their little thing, licks and stuff. It was zone rap Crip. So, you know, but it was always Twilight Zone, so it was Twilight Zone Rat, Compton Crip, but then we took the rat off, put just the T-Zone, Rat, R-A-T, Zone. It was Zone Rat first. It was always Twilight Zone. The dude that didn't really have no lights, and it was like half of the hood was like going from all the way back was fields, and then the back side was more of the first side, you know what I'm saying? Like in the front part was a couple streets, and then they started building it up. So it was always Twilight Zone, but then as it all got built, you know, my homeboys had a clique where they adapted like the Zone Rat Crips because they used to hit licks and all that. So then when I got jumped in the hood, it was still the TZRCC, but then they took off the R and then it was T-Zone Compton Crips.
So when you joined, it was still called Rat.
Zone, it was still called Twilight Zone Rat Compton Crip, but then they took the R off in around like 88, 87, and then it was just T-Zone Compton Crip, you know what I'm saying?
Now you're saying this area has always been known as Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
But when did the first youngsters decide to say, we a group?
Around like when the Crippin' came about, shit, it was around, I guess like around 70, 72, you know what I'm saying? That issue, like my homeboy I told you that's gonna holler at, he got more in depth, so like, cause his mother and his family was like originally the move, was first move. I moved over here like in 83. So, you know, when I was 9 years old, so.
When you was 9, what was it at that time?
It was Twilight Zone, Rat Crip,
okay. Yeah. Now, when do you think the zone started off over there on 110?
The homies started about late 60s to early 70s. For sure. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna be able to give you the exact year because I don't wanna lie, but I know the late 60s to early 70s and the homies was Twilight Zones. You know what I'm saying? Now, in the 80s, that's when the homies put Crip on it. You know what I'm saying? In the 80s, you know what I'm saying? My G homies, you know what I'm saying? Some generations over me that I'm still tapped in, still locked in with, that's when they started cripping.
Yeah.
Because originally the homies was, you know what I'm saying, players getting money, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, anybody down from that section to let you know, like, the T-Zone's been getting money, you know what I'm saying? Fucking with bitches, shit of that sort, you know what I mean? But it's a couple of generations older than me that originally put the Crip on it. You know, a lot of homies ran with it, a lot of niggas fell back, you know what I'm saying? Still had respect as homies, but they was like, you know, you niggas is cripping now, you know, so it was a whole different, you know, it was a whole different ball game when the homies started cripping. You know, homies a little older than him. What's about 46, something like that?
46,
46. So my homies a couple of years older than him. That's the homies that I know put the Crip on it, you know what I'm saying? Some reputable homies, you know, I ain't gonna throw no names, but the reputable homies, they see this, they know who they are, that's who put the Crip on it.
The original, like, by me going through Juvenile Hall, you know what I'm saying, and find out it was a T-Zone. It was originally T-Zone Mafia.
No, it was originally T-Zone
Hustlers. We had Hustler, but when I'm saying in my era, it was T-Zone Mafia.
When
110th? Yeah, it was originally with T-Zone Mafia. I'm talking about in my era. You know what I'm saying? When I started, it was the homie Big Yak that I know that been pushing that we acknowledge, oh, you from T-Zone, I'm T-Zone, where I first heard of it. You know what I'm saying?
So you talking about when you like 83, 84, 85?
No, like, I'm saying they've been, I don't know their history as far as like, I'm just now getting brief on history because I just got out doing 20 years in the Fed, so I don't know their history. I've been learning it, but I'm saying from my era, like from 87 on up, like when I run into dudes, like in Juvenile Hall, when I was coming up, it was T-Zone Mafia, you know what I'm saying? So then I'm hearing that it was other, you know, they had their own little thing like we had, you know, other streets or however, you know what I'm saying? But it was T-Zone Mafia, and then I guess, you know, I ran to dudes like, oh, you T-Zone, like, oh, okay, it's T-Zone, woo. So it was like new to me, but I was new to the game, you know, I was just a young buck, you know what I'm saying?
So when you was locked up as a youngster, people were confused when you say I'm from T-Zone. Some of them thought maybe you from that one on 110.
I mean, for real, to keep it real, because that's what we on for real, it was like they didn't hear about none of them. Like when I was coming up, like at Juvenile Hall, because we was young dudes, it was all kids, you know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? They was young, you know what I'm saying? We was young. Now, even though I done ran, as I got older and ran the dudes like older, older, they'd be like, oh, y'all old hood and this and that. But when you young, they young dudes don't really know unless they in this area. You know what I'm saying? But like dudes from Main Street and different surroundings with back streets that's around them, yeah, they knew of it same way like dudes on our end, the nutties and Trag knew Lantana shotguns, you know, they paybacks, they knew 190s, they knew Caesar Village, they knew us because they in our area. But when you're dealing with Juvenile Hall Campus, YA and all that, you dealing with Crips all around the city. And if they ain't like in our section or know like girls or family over here, they probably didn't hear of it, you know. So that was a struggle for me when I was coming in Juvenile Hall, like, you know, wait, that nigga there for T-Zone Compton, you know what I'm saying? So I'm basically not, you know, the 110 T-Zone had their own little thing going and we had our own thing going. So I'm banging for T-Zone Compton, you know what I'm saying? So my thing was, oh, where that's at, woo. So my push into all the juvenile halls, the camps, the YAs, pen feds, you know, that was my thing to put this motherfucker on the map. You know what I'm saying?
When you was coming up, the Mafia was already dropped, right?
Yeah, I mean, I was around with the Mafia.
Thanks for watching StreetTV.net. If you're not subscribed, please hit that button below and click the bell to receive alerts and notifications. Feel free to comment below so you can give us your feedback, and be sure to watch the 2 related episodes to the right. If you want to support this platform or follow us on social media, visit the links in the description. And thanks for watching StreetTV.net.